Qantas flight QF164 from Wellington to Sydney on Monday the 2nd of September 2019 on a Boeing 737-800, scheduled to depart at 3:55, flight time of 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Awesome, thank you so much. Thank you.
Before flying, I downloaded the Qantas app, signed up and loaded up my flight. Qantas then emailed me a unique offer to upgrade to business class, which I declined. But the app was quite handy. I used it to check in before I got to the airport. But because this flight was international, I'm not quite sure what that achieved. When I got to the Wellington terminal, I went to the Qantas check-in kiosks and essentially had to check in again. I scanned my passport, confirmed I'm me and that I have one bag. I was then gifted a paper boarding pass and a baggage label, which I affixed to my bag. I then lined up at the bag drop. While I was in the line, someone from ground crew gave me this little tag to put on my carry-on, essentially asking me not to take up overhead bin space with it. Okay. Once I got to the bag drop machine, the whole process only took a couple of minutes. Most of that was taken up with me working out that I had to put the barcode down on the machine to make it go green. With that cognitive hurdle out of the way, I popped my bag on the conveyor belt. It was weighed. I declared I had nothing explosive, with a specific screen on power banks. I was instructed to lay my bag on its side and then to stand clear, and my bag was automatically taken away. I hope I see you soon, bag. The machine gave me a receipt and I was all ready to go. I had a little bit of time to fill in and I'd worked through lunch, so I got myself a pie in the main terminal. It was pretty good. Wellington doesn't have a lot of international traffic, and international departures are tucked away in the northern corner of the terminal. Immediately on entering international departures, you're into security. The lines were short and it was super quick and easy. Around the corner to passport control. The e-gates are so straightforward. It was super quick to get through. That left for plenty of extra time in duty free. I wasn't tempted and walked straight through to the gates. Well, maybe I was a little bit tempted by the electronics. There might be a bargain. There wasn't, and I went to the gates. The international departure lounges in Wellington are attractive, if slightly on the small side. I'm technically a nobody to Qantas, so I can't get into the Qantas Club lounge, but I managed to find a PowerPoint in the public lounge, charged up all my things and worked for an hour or so, and then they called boarding for my flight. Everybody formed an orderly line at gate 49. This first human checked our passports, and the second two had the job of scanning our boarding passes for us.
I know, well done.
We need to drop the blame.
And they were all good sorts. Then we walked down a few hallways, down the jetway, and onto our plane. Boarding was very orderly and there was plenty of space for carry-on baggage. We pushed back from the gate 4 minutes late at 3:59 p.m. We then taxied for an improbable 15 minutes and took off 19 minutes behind schedule at 4:14 p.m.
Whether you're starting your journey or coming home, welcome aboard. If you need anything, just ask the crew. They're here to help, so follow their instructions at all times. Have a great flight. Thank you for choosing Qantas, the spirit of Australia.
Wellington Airport has one runway. We taxied from gate 49 of the main terminal building over to runway 16 via taxiways Charlie 5, Bravo 5 and Alpha. We entered runway 16 via taxiway Alpha 1 and took off towards the south. After takeoff, we did 2 right-hand turns and then one more over the top of the South Island, over the coast to the Tasman and then a slight left, and then slightly northwest to Sydney.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight captain speaking, along with Carl, our customer service manager Tamsin, crossing the Tasman. Glorious day for flying. Most of it anticipating mainly smooth flight conditions across the Tasman. Seatbelt sign. seatbelts comfortably fastened. Like to resynchronize watches. Sydney's time to time in Wellington. At this stage, we envisage arriving there 10 minutes early, arriving there 5:05. Cracker of a day there. Similar to Wellington, a southerly breeze and the temperature 17 degrees. Along the Thames, across the Thames. Carl, my team, been a pleasure having on board this Qantas service.
Okay, on to the meal. It was mid-afternoon, so maybe it was lunch, maybe it was dinner. I said chicken. Turns out I didn't listen properly. I was looking forward to a hot chicken meal and I got a chicken salad. But that was what she said. Totally on me. So a cold chicken salad, a hot bun, cold beverage, hot beverage, and a wee treat for pudding. So let's get into it, starting with the chicken salad. It was light and delicious. The flavours were surprisingly delicate. I really liked it and I ate every last piece. Chicken salad, 9 out of 10. Oh, good one, Qantas. The bun contained a surprise. Melted herb and garlic butter. The centre was soft, yummy and delicious. The crust was a little bit tough. Some people like that, and I'm one of those people. 9 out of 10. Oh yeah. There was a full drink service for cold beverages. I got a lemonade, but I could have had wine, beer, whatever I wanted. 8 out of 10. Solid work, Qantas. Hot beverage service was tea or coffee. I got a coffee. Every cup came with 15 mils of milk in a little container. I thought this was just a little bit wasteful for people that don't have milk, but I do. And I poured in as much as I wanted myself. A whole 15 mils. The coffee itself was really good, but not totally outstanding. I'm going to say 7 out of 10. Good hot beverage. A little while after the meal, they popped around with an ice cream on a stick for dessert. It was a mini choc bar. A chocolate centre, ice cream, chocolate on the outside with some sort of nougat-y things. I thought this was really novel and I liked it. I give the dessert 7 out of 10. A little bit later they came around with chocolates. I would have quite liked to have this with my coffee. I'm just going to bump up the dessert score by 1 to acknowledge it. That makes the dessert 8 out of 10. Awesome. Nice one, Qantas. So how average was that meal? The main, the lovely chicken salad, got a 9. The bun, with the special surprise herb and garlic butter, got a 9. Full drink service got an 8. The coffee got 7. And the dessert got 7 plus 1 for their chocolate makes 8. That's an average of 8.2, which rounds to 8 out of 10. Excellent meal, Qantas. Okay, onto the plane. This plane, VH-XZE, is a Boeing 737-800 and it had its first flight on the 4th of April 2013, making it 6.5 years old when I took this flight. Qantas have owned it since it was brand new. It was originally configured with 12 business class and 156 economy class seats, but in May 2016 Qantas removed some galleys, moved the toilets back and added a row of seats at the back of the economy class section. So when I took my flight, it was configured with 12 business class and 162 economy class seats for a total maximum capacity of 174 passengers. And I was in seat 10F, which is a window seat in the front third of the economy class section. The seat itself was quite comfortable, but it only had half a window, which is not what I was expecting, but was better than no window. There was a small but adequate video screen in the back of the seat in front. The movie selection was pretty good, and I found something to watch that I hadn't seen before, so that was nice. The headphone port was in the end of the armrest, as was the controller for the video system. This was a little bit inconvenient, and I bumped it a couple of times with my elbow. There was a USB charging port, but no AC power. The tray table, despite having a little bit of dirt on it from the last customer, was nice and big. Overall, the cabin had a really spacious feel, and despite the way the overhead bins are hugging the ceiling, they had plenty of room in them for your carry-ons. The seat pitch, or distance between rows, is 30 inches. I'm 5'11", and it was okay. Overall, this aircraft is well maintained, everything worked, and it was clean and tidy. In the overhead panel there was lights, fresh air, and a call button. So a relatively new aircraft that's tidy and well maintained. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Nice plane, Qantas. After trekking west across the Tasman, we turned slightly to the north. As we came closer to Sydney, we did a slight left, followed by a right-hand turn, then a series of left-hand turns, and came into Sydney Airport from the north. We landed towards the south on runway 16L. We left the runway on taxiway Tango 4, then via Tango, Lima and Bravo. We stayed on Bravo across runway 0725, then via taxiway Golf over runway 34L16R, and on to Apron International 4, and to gate 37 of the International Terminal.
5:30 p.m. Check the screen throughout the terminal for details of your next flight departure. If you don't have a boarding pass, make your way to the transfer area. Exit flights, please make your way to Terminal 2. Simply follow the signs outside the terminal, and as always, the Qantas ground team are happy to help. Please take care when opening the overhead lock as bags may have moved.
According to FlightAware, we landed at 5:26, which is 10 minutes behind schedule. We then taxied for 9 minutes and arrived at the gate at 5:35, 5 minutes ahead of schedule.
Cabin crew disarm doors and cross-check.
As other passengers were disembarking, I was watching the baggage handler unload the bags, and I was wondering why Qantas didn't use unit load devices on this flight. And when I had a bit of a Google around, I discovered that 737s aren't able to take unit load devices in their lower hold. The equivalent Airbus, the A320, A321, can definitely take them, so it seems like a competitive disadvantage that the Boeing can't. However, if the 737-800 could take ULDs, I wouldn't get a little magic moment like this, where I'd see my bag coming off the plane and being put on the trolley. Really nice to know it got here. As I was disembarking, I got to have a bit of a look at the business class seats. I reckon they'd definitely be worth 40 to 50% more, not double though. After a quick stop to look back at my plane, it was on to passport control and customs. The first step in passport control is your declaration. As a New Zealand citizen over the age of 16 with an e-passport, here in Australia I can use one of these kiosks to do my declaration. Theoretically, that reduces my time at the e-gates. So I inserted my passport, declared my things, and was given a wee ticket. I then braved duty free, I managed to get through unscathed, and followed the very clear signs to the e-gates. The process was very straightforward, and in a couple of minutes I was done. I was immediately in baggage claim. QF164's bags were on carousel 10, so I went down there and got my bag. Customs isn't quite as automated as passport control, and I had a paper form that I'd had to fill out. I head over to the exit and choose the line that I thought looked a bit shorter as I was approaching, but as I get there I realise that neither of them are terribly long, so after a relatively short wait, I'm chatting with a customs officer. I've come from New Zealand, which has very few pests that Australia doesn't, and I'm only here for a couple of days with a very small bag. They assess me as low risk and direct me to the green lane. I mean, if Mr. 5 surfboards and a boogie board in front of me is low risk, surely I am. And then just like that, I'm in Australia. I'll sum up as I walk over to the train station to catch my train to the city. The meal, which had that delicious chicken, the surprise bun, and the ice cream on a stick for a dessert, got 8. And the plane, a relatively new Boeing, which is in great condition with comfortable seats, got a 7. That's an average of 7.5. That's pretty bloody good, Qantas. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and then watch every single video we've ever made. And every one we will make.